Hello and welcome to this special edition of Big Scott's 35 Let's Talk. Didn't have one last week because I was just waiting for this one. We're going to break it all down from last year, what's the future going to hold, and you can take it to the bank and spend all your money on everything these guys say. But let's get to it. First off, we got Dave's Midlife Card Crisis, one of the greatest names in the YouTube world. I love it. Below me is MikeO. Now he
What's
does
up?
the MikeO sports cards with the sales. What, every Tuesday night now, Mike? Is that what you're planning on it, or?
Hopefully. So I haven't really ever announced this yet on my channel, so it's an exclusive for Big Scott 35. But I've been thinking about it and talking to JT Triple Crown 24 a lot over the last few months, and we're starting MikeO's card shop online only, but we'll be doing live sales hopefully almost every Tuesday on YouTube. I applied, and I'll be doing stuff on what's it called? What
app?
Yeah, Whatnot, which is
yeah.
apparently really popular. So I'll be doing stuff there and opening an eBay store, just tons of singles. So I will be spending a lot of time collecting cards, as always, which I will do forever, but also selling some cards too. So should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. And then last but not least, I could not get Jeff Wilson here, so I got Ed Westergriff.
Oh man,
with his knowledge. He's got some hand-drawn graphs and everything for us, and we're gonna go at it. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna talk about some of the things in the past year. Some big notes that we don't have to, fanatics. Everybody, I always ask everybody, if you ever watch my last Let's Talk, is what was your reaction when you heard the news about fanatics? Start with Dave.
I was like, thank God. I'm excited, dude. Like, not so much for the baseball stuff, but like Topps Chrome football, 5-star football. Now you can probably get like Transcendent football. I'm just a big Topps fan anyway. Like, I like Topps base football, baseball, so for me it's a win, because that's what I collect.
Yep.
So
how about you, Mike? We've talked about it before, but
oh yeah, I agree. When it first broke that Fanatics is getting all these exclusive licensings, I was kind of surprised and a little worried. I mean, I felt like this is the direction things would ultimately go, but at the time you're nervous because I'm like, what are they going to do? Will the Topps brand possibly go away? Because like Dave, like yourself, I'm a big fan of Topps. I enjoy a lot of what they do. I enjoy the history of it. And I think the history of it is one of the things that makes it so special. But best thing that could happen with the way things played out, Fanatics buying Topps. So we'll continue to have Topps sets and products. And I'll be able to continue that all-time Phillies Topps team set year after year. And like Dave mentioned, I mean, to see Topps football, Topps Chrome football, Topps finest football come back, that's going to be absolutely awesome. Don't really care that much about the Topps basketball, but I know a lot of people will be very, very excited.
Right. How about you, Ed? What do you think?
Just to echo what Dave and Mike said, I was ecstatic when the news happened, because when we found out that Topps lost the license to baseball, it felt like the sky was kind of falling and 70 plus years of history might be gone. But thankfully, Fanatics stepped in and bought Topps. So I'm just really thrilled that Topps is still going to be around and that they're still going to be producing baseball. And then we also are going to get basketball and football back. So that's awesome. So thrilled about it. Very happy.
I am with you on that. For me, if anybody's watched any of my videos lately, I hate Topps customer service, and I hope Fanatics fixes it. I am fighting. I'm still missing an Allen and Ginter box that they still owe me. That's what killing me right now. But I'm going to be. They haven't announced what they're going to be bringing back of Topps yet. So I'm being hopeful still that they don't screw this up. And now they bought the Tops name. They don't Tops being Tops, screw it up somehow. So be calling it Tops Fanatics brand or something. So
They said the new flagship is going to be Topps Big League and Topps Opening Day. They're not
Right.
doing anything else.
Yeah, that's all we're going to have. Like that's the only thing, because I know they got it for the infrastructure, and when I knew they weren't hiring people, it was really pointing in that direction. They're going to buy one of them with their $1 billion that they have. So moving on, we don't want to talk about that. It's been talked about a lot. I kind of want we were hitting on this before we got on, and that's why I wanted y'all to stop talking. Maybe would have made great. Well, hopefully, we continue the conversation. PSA and just grading in a whole for this last year, the craziness of we thought we were done with the COVID. We're not done with the COVID, and just going along with that, PSA and the other grading companies. We'll go backwards this time. Weskergriff, you start us off. I mean, what is your feelings overall from just the past year on how the grading, with the top 3 or 4 grading companies panned out, and even the new ones trying to come out?
Like just PSA specifically, or all of
No, just all of them. Hit on like. I'm thinking more of like letdowns or what people some of the companies stepping up. For me, I'll start it off and I'll let you know. I really we talked about it. PSA to me has forgotten what got them to where they're at, and they're more worried about their higher end customers, especially with what they've done here in the last 6 or 7 months. If you spend $200 or $400, they move you up in line, cutting off the people that are already been waiting for their cards for a year. But you have SGC who stepped up and figured it out. CSG, they're trying to figure it out. They've got a beautiful, holder. I don't even mind a flip now that I've seen it enough. It doesn't bother me at all. And then you got to take your hat off. I'm not a big fan of HGA or anything like that, but they tried to fill a hole that was missing in the hobby, and maybe they did, but for me, they were lacking. But for grading purposes, just touching on it real quick, what were y'all thinking, like misses and hits and things like that? That's kind of what my thought process was.
Well, I think PSA. I think under Nat Turner, PSA has done it the best that they possibly could from the situation that they were in. Logistically, with their backlog and how crazy things got with PSA, where even the Newport Beach USPS site had to be like shut down because they had to get PSA employees in there because they were just receiving so much mail. So I think from that perspective, Nat has done a good job, and PSA in general has done a good job to try to clear that backlog out and get orders out, because the number of cards that they have just gotten has been astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
And Nat inherited a lot of issues from the previous administration. So with infrastructure, not enough graders on the payroll, not enough customer service reps, all those type of issues. So I think under Nat, they have done quite well. As for their grading, it's been a little, honestly, since there's so many cards, I feel like their grading has been a little bit more inconsistent than what it has been in the past. That might be because they have so many new graders, but I think overall PSA has done a pretty decent job. So I think they're fine. I get what you're saying with how it's harder for the set registry people, and I think upper management at PSA is aware of that. So I think they are gonna. I think the end game for them is to try to make submissions more affordable. So I do think eventually it might take time, but I think they'll quell that issue that you're bringing up. SGC, out of all the third-party grading companies, in my opinion, they had the best year last year. They're getting the orders out quick within a month. They're They're going through a lot of cards. They're getting a lot of submissions. I go to card shows. I see their slabs everywhere. You look online, they're getting way more hits than BGS and any other third-party grader that's not PSA. So they're definitely becoming more of a bigger force. I think you would have to be kind of crazy to not admit that SGC has made strides in the hobby. Unfortunately, the secondary values aren't there on the modern or ultra modern yet compared to like PSA. But vintage wise, they're definitely very, very strong,
Right.
and compatible with PSA. So they've been doing well. CSG, they really struggled out of the gate getting orders. I know me and Mike and Dave, we got into some submissions where Mike put this submission together. Dave and I sent Mike cards, and it took, I think, like 2.5 months to process the order. And then we finally got it back 7, 8 months, 9 months later. They're the cheapest option out there between all the third-party graders for bulk economy. So they're definitely going to have a space for people to use, and they're definitely going to provide a service that people are going to want to use. I do like them. I will be sent to CSG, but they got a very long way to go to even get into the big three, I guess you can say. Then there's BGS. I won't even touch on BGS because they just have so many issues right now. I think there's still orders from 2020 that they have to get through. And then HGA, like you said, HGA seems to have their own built-in passionate fan base on social media, specifically Facebook. I see a lot of posts from people on there that are very passionate about HGA. So they definitely have their legion of fans and whatnot. And it seems like their values are comparable to CSG from what I've seen. And then there's GMA. They're doing quite well. They went from a guy in a basement to a guy in a mansion, maybe a mansion basement. So they've done quite well for themselves. So
Right. Yep. We'll go with Dave next. Any thoughts?
So, yeah, I'm a big SGC fan, so I think they did great. I actually enjoy subbing with them. I like the slab a lot better than the old SGC slab for sure. PSA, I mean, that's something I'm going to be buying online, but I'm not going to sub with them right now. It's just too expensive. CSG, slab's good, but like, man, they're going to have a rough time if they don't start grading so harshly, I think. Because I think the secondary market on that is garbage. You can't sell nothing on there for any kind of money to get your money back. Of course, I subbed a bunch of lower end stuff, but it should have been decently easy to move some of it, and it's very, very difficult, and especially when they're giving the grades of 8.5s and 9s when you know they're 9.5s at least. A couple of times I thought I had some 10s, and they gave me the 9.5 or even a 9. So I think they're going to struggle with that because people are going to stop selling. I guess PC cards that I'm not moving just like to have slabbed. That's what they're going to be good for.
Right.
Cheap slabs that are protecting your cards and they look pretty good. But anything else you're looking to get value on it, I think it's going to be a struggle for them when they keep grading too low or too harsh, you know. But SGC, great job. PSA, like I said, hope they open up cheaper soon. We'll see.
Right.
And BGS, I don't even know. Are they even open?
they've really fallen on hard times.
Dude, I don't know if I've even seen like, you know,
Were
were
they at the Dallas Card Show? I'm sorry to overtalk you, but were they at the Dallas Card Show?
Well, they weren't there, I don't think. I mean, I wasn't there for
somebody
just
said they were supposed to be there.
They could have been somewhere. I saw that forensic grading company, whatever it's called,
Right.
there, right outside the doors, like before you got to the big room.
Right.
But I was only there for a little bit, so I kind of just looked at some tables and I had to take off. So I was there for maybe 2 hours. So I wasn't there long enough to even pay attention fully who was there fully. So
right. All right, Mike, we'll let you come in there and knock us all in.
So I've graded with every one of those companies that we've mentioned this year, with the exception of BGS, because didn't even have that option. BGS has had the worst year of all the third-party graders. They literally were the clear number 2 in the space, and they are getting dangerously close to falling to like a distant 4th. Like they are becoming completely irrelevant. Now they have a ton of high-end cards and like Bowman Chrome autos and stuff, so they will stay relevant, but like I don't know what they're doing. Like they need to get I don't know if they're hibernating. I don't know what's going on, but they got to get out there and start getting some stuff out, start having some sort of orders. I mean, I really don't know what's going on there. It's kind of astonishing how irrelevant they are truly becoming. Like it's pitiful. I mean, it's an embarrassment in my opinion.
Right.
In terms of the other companies, as I've gotten, like I said, I've done submissions, got stuff back from all of them. HGA, they've probably hit their peak and are on a steady kind of road down. I sent a few submissions to them, and I actually think they did really well. Like from what I expected, like their grading was fairly spot on, more so than I would have expected. Problem is they're a newer company. They don't have enough history to really gain a ton of momentum. They got that early momentum when they were one of the few people you could grade to. I will say their slabs are excellent looking. They feel great. They're very similar to the CSG slabs, maybe just a little bit bigger, really strong and sturdy, and the flips look nice. But if I sent them a vintage card that was trimmed or a vintage card that was, manipulated, or even a modern card, I have no faith that they would know how to authenticate or catch any of them. And that's one of their issues. In terms of the other 3 companies, CSG, if you look at it from the perspective of this being their first year, they actually had a really good year, graded a ton of cards, have built a lot of momentum. I mean, way more so than any of the other pop-up ones. Now, that being said, they have a ton of money behind them. I think their biggest flaws are, one, obviously the flip. Like Dave, you say, or Scott, you say it doesn't really bother you, and I've gotten used to it as well, but I would still say it's my least favorite between PSA and SGC. But the matter of fact is, the general consensus is that people don't like it, so that's a problem because you need people like it to help build the momentum. Of course, if they had the same flip and the secondary values were much higher, I bet a lot of the people who don't like it would suddenly like it. But I think another flaw is the fact that they followed, and I understand a lot of the top people there came from BGS. Using the BGS grading model, absolutely asinine. I mean, that's my opinion, but I think it's based on a lot of truth too.
Right.
That's just, you got to follow the PSA path with the grading. People love 10s. People just like the 10. They don't like the 9.5. I mean, you'll accept a 9.5. If I'm sending to SGC, I'm okay on a lot of cards if I get in a 9.5. Of course, I want to get a 10. That's my goal. But to have a 9.5 be your gem mint, I think is problematic. And the pristine 10s are very, very difficult. I think I might have gotten like 1, and it wasn't even a tough card. And they are very strict on the grading. The grading is really tough, which is great if we're out there just shopping and we want to buy a card. If you buy a CSG graded card, you're going to get a really good quality grade, but the ultimate goal is not for that. It's to get people to submit cards, and people will get frustrated getting 7.5s, 8s, 8.5s, 9s. I mean, I'm someone who, I submit a card, I want the grade that it deserves,
Right.
but I also don't want, it's a fine line between being way too strict and way too lenient. So
Right.
I think that's a problem for them, and we'll see. I'm pretty sure they're going to be changing or updating the flip pretty soon. I know I got a survey, and a lot of other people got a survey just asking different thoughts.
Yeah.
SGC, incredible year. They are absolutely number 2 right now. There's no doubt about it. Anyone who says otherwise is just, I think, not paying attention. And that doesn't mean things can't change,
They're
but
all over
they've
the
had
place.
an unbelievable year. Like
Yeah.
they've continued to consistently grade. they've had a really good place in the pre-war and vintage for a long, long time. I mean, they're not a new company. I know there's some new people out there who make videos and think they're card experts and they present themselves as, and then they say, "Oh, SGC, they're a new company." Like, no, SGC's been around for decades.
Right.
They just kind of started pushing to get modern and ultra modern stuff graded, but people have been grading that stuff with them for a long time. It's just it wasn't used as often. But they've been consistent, quick. I mean, I pretty much know if I send them an order, I'm going to get it back in about 30 business days or so, maybe a little quicker. Maybe it takes a week or two longer, but like they're keeping the train moving. They're doing a really good job. Marketing's been solid. They could probably do a little more, but I think they kind of know their place. And while they want to continue to build business and get cards in to make money, they also don't want to give themselves a problem where all of a sudden they have a giant backlog. But I think they've had a really, really good year. The secondary prices, of course, they're not as high as PSA, but they've definitely grown. And especially with big cards, like they're a lot closer than I think some people think. And as for PSA, obviously, I mean, they get talked up all the time. They obviously did a good job and a great job for a really long time, but it is something where when you've graded with them for a long time, you kind of don't know. Like, I don't know when I'm sending anything to PSA anytime soon. I mean, if I open something and I get, some superfractor that's a $10,000 card, okay, then I might be willing to pay a couple $100s to grade it. But most of the stuff I want to grade, I wouldn't even consider grading at those prices. So, they have the brand. They get talked up by a lot of the influencers and even celebrities that are involved in, and that just kind of keeps building things. And then of course it's whatever's the highest price right now. And that's what people are going to want to do. Cause a lot of people don't really look at it as, oh, I can get it back this quick and make, a little bit of money getting it graded. They think, oh, well, this card went for $250, and they don't even consider the fact, oh, well, I'm going to pay, 10 times the price to get it graded and wait 6 months. Then next thing you know, the player is injured or obsolete and no one cares about it. So we'll see. I hope that PSA will have some lower prices and stuff at some point, but I think we're a long ways away, a really long ways away. And, even so, if they open up a $10 thing for low-end cards that have to be, I don't know, valued at $20 or less, for set registries. But what if the time frame's like 2 years? Like, I don't want to wait 2 years for a card to come back.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. One quick note with CSG. I've gotten back over 100 cards back and have yet to get a 10. So that's been my luck with CSG, but that's okay.
It's tough. They're tough.
Yeah, they are. But, I have fallen in love with that clear plastic, man. I love it.
Their slab is awesome. Their slab is probably my favorite overall, like actual physical slab.
Yeah. It makes everything really nice.
Ed, did you get a 10? I can't remember.
I got 110, on the Ozzy Albies pink refractor from Chrome Update.
That thing would be like a PSA 12.
It was 1/2 grade away from all perfect 10s on the subgrade. So,
so it wasn't a 10 perfect whatever 10.
Yeah, I think it had like 10 centering, 10 surface, 10 edges, and then I think corners were like a 9.5.
Ooh, you're not going to get all your money out of that one because it's not all 10s.
They really be like, I do like CSG, and I've submitted a couple cards. I've been specifically trying to pick up Juan Soto CSG slabs because I just feel they're criminally undervalued compared to the contemporary other third-party graders. But their secondary values are really, really rough compared to, I think, the other 4 third-party graders, not including GMA. Like I think even HGA might even have them a little beat in secondary values, which is kind of a crazy thought because CSG, I mean, is an established company. I mean, they've been great in comics and they've been in the grading business for a long time. So,
but Rome wasn't going in a day.
What's
Like
that, Dave?
the HGA slab is what's getting them over because it looks really good with the cards.
Yeah, nobody can
That's
barely see that they misspelled the name.
Yeah.
It was like Mike was saying about the flip. Like, I personally think the flip's okay. Like, I don't understand all the visceral towards the flip, but
Right.
I'm not ignorant to the fact that the hobby definitely doesn't. The overwhelming majority of the hobby does not like that flip.
And it does look
Yeah.
better with the subgrades. It kills some of that open space.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all those points. When I say it doesn't bother me. I think all the pluses override for me the negative of that.
I wonder how many people are going to dislike this video because you got green on the borders between our faces.
It's an old school baseball video game. Like,
They're going to see that green and say you're a shill for CSG.
yeah, that I got the owner back here in the back room, outbuy from everybody and everything. You know that. My last thing is a great event happened this year. Got to meet all you guys for the first time in person. Was most amazing thing. It was my 5th national. I've never seen anything like it. What is y'all impressions, and are we going to be chasing that dragon this year? Because that was amazing last year. Thoughts? We'll start with Mike on this one.
Yeah, it was all right. No, it was awesome. The National is always great. And I think one of the things that also made it really special was the fact that, we look forward to it every year and you kind of get used to it. You just count on it happening year after year. And then 2020 comes and you're kind of wondering, is it going to happen? You kind of know it's not going to happen, but you're holding out hope it's going to happen. And of course it doesn't happen. They tried to fool us with delaying it and stuff. So we had that taken away. So it kind of felt like an eternity. But then you finally get there and there's just so many aspects of it that are great. Going to a card show that's so expansive and big, getting a look at all this new stuff. And of course, the best part is meeting up with people, meeting people for the first time, meeting people that you see every year. It's just, it's a fantastic experience and definitely had a great time, going around trying to just order a pizza. And next thing you know, you got guys trying to buy everything that's in your bag. And, it's the craziness of the National. Yeah. And I look forward to 2022 already. Yep. In Atlantic City. Should be a ton of fun. I think Chicago's probably that best setup where it's so easy to hang out because everything's so close. Mm-hmm. Atlantic City might make it a little more challenging with people being a little more spread out, but people are going to find a way to get together. And
right.
I absolutely look forward to it.
Dave, with thoughts?
Well, I love the National.
Yeah.
I'll be there again this year. It's my favorite time of year.
Yep. Busting packs and drinking beer.
Yeah. But no, I think even just YouTube get-togethers, we're all meeting up together. I mean, that's what we're there for. It's got bigger and bigger every year. Like, I think my first year I went, it was maybe 7 of us at one of the hotels, the DoubleTree. And then the next year was kind of a little bit more. And then even Cleveland was in Cleveland, 15 of us maybe there at the hotel partying. And then all of a sudden we go back to Chicago and there's 50 of us to 100 of us. So it's just great. Just every year, you get to see everybody that you haven't seen in a long time. Even this year, I thought it was great because, we met several new guys I've not met before, including you, Scott. But it was just crazy walking by hey, I know you.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're hanging out with them all weekend. So I just can't wait. So
right.
Hit about
Christmas in July, man.
Yeah, we'll hit about April, probably even late March, and we'll see how the national fever starts hitting everybody. Mm-hmm. We start watching everybody's videos from last year, all the recaps.
Right.
Still go back and watch ones from 5 years ago. It's awesome to have those memories kind of cemented in there.
Dude, so I still have on my watch list the video from Atlantic City that Mike took when me and Ed and Mike Druga and Michael Fabian just sitting there busting some packs, and I
You're
watched
opening like $300 hobby boxes that at the time were like $30 a piece.
yeah, $30 Donner, no to 25, I think $25, 2015 Donner's football.
Drinking some Ecto Cooler.
Yep. So I watch that video all the time. So, but yes, it's great. So.
All right, Ed.
Well, last year was just total insanity. That was quite the experience. I mean, usually the Nationals over at 6:00, and that's it. You go back to the hotel, you get dinner, you go hang out with your friends, go hang out with people in the community. But last year was the show never stopped. It just kept going. The show did not end at 6:00. It just
Went straight through to 6 a.m.
It went straight through to 6 a.m. the next morning, and people go get breakfast and go to the show again. It was really chaotic. And when you go back and you watch some of the videos, that's really the great thing about the National is you get so many different perspectives from people when they pop up their videos and stuff. So you kind of live vicariously. You're like, oh, I was there, but I was standing all the way over there, or I was in a different part of the room. This is what was going on here. So it was really cool. It was unlike any other National that I've ever been to. There was just so much going on at any hour of the day.
Right.
And normally it wasn't like that. And just to see our YouTube meetup at the Lowe's Hotel just getting absolutely overrun by people who were doing a makeshift card show or trade night or whatever the hell that was, and just seeing the hotel staff just absolutely wave the white towel and
what do we do?
just get overrun. They were under siege by all these people. It was just craziness.
Yep.
So definitely a lot of memories, and obviously, I think I could speak for everyone here that the Nationals really. I mean, it's more of a social aspect is the main reason why I go more than the cards. Cards are great. Love the cards. I mean, that's what brings us together, but it's really the social interactions and meeting people that you talk to all year, hang out. And that was the one thing I kind of felt bad about last year was there were so many of us that I feel bad, like if you can't, talk to, there's just so many people there that it's hard to get to everyone. So
it has become a lot like
problem.
It's become a lot like the actual YouTube community. Like 5 years ago, I felt like you could watch almost everyone's videos like daily or at least weekly, and you could comment and you could reply to every comment. And then it's just grown and grown and grown. And now it's like, it's impossible. You can't watch everything.
Right.
You can try your best, but you're just never going to be able to do it. And now like the National experience has almost become the same way where you're like, oh, I'll hang out with this person every day. And like, even some of us, we would go to the show together and like 8 hours would go by and we'd see each other like once because it's so big, you don't even barely run into each other by chance. And you're looking at cards and then you're running into other people and it's just crazy. But, you can make time to hang out. But even like the get-togethers, like there's 100 people. It's hard to have a meaningful conversation with every one of those people. You try to at least say hello and talk briefly, but
and then you don't even know
tough.
You don't even know certain people are there. Like I remember on the plane ride home, we were talking, and you were like, "Yeah, I was talking to Picker Jim S." I'm like, "Dude, Picker Jim S. I don't think was there." And you're like, "No, he was there." I'm like, "Wait, are you serious?" Like I didn't even know he was there. Like I never ran across him. Like there's people that are there, and like I said, you go to their YouTube channels and watch their recap. And you're like, "Damn, they were at the same event I was," and like. I didn't even run across them. Like that's how big and expansive it's kind of gotten. Like it's wild. It's a wild week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to blame it on our live feed from Cleveland that one year because after that it's just blown up.
That's right.
Yeah.
y'all were. I've watched that one a couple of times. That made me laugh.
The like 3 hour thing at the bar.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
next thing,
so-
Ed's there, and then next thing you know, he's laying up in bed in his hotel room, commenting. I'm like, "Come back!"
Yeah,
that was good. There was a lot of that video. That's one of the best MikeO videos. That's what 2.5 hours almost. There's so many
More than
stories
that.
intertwined there. Wenzel 888 going on about the Patriots, and then Michael Shane, B-Raw, and then of course Mike Fabian, Eastern Connecticut Sports Cards, and the Legend of the Cot.
Yeah.
That was a fun video, but that became a very long night. I did not get much sleep.
There's a lot of Easter eggs in that video. I'll just say that.
wow. Okay.
So,
Well, I have to say my national experience last year was me stepping out and getting to know a lot of people in the YouTube world, including y'all, including viewers. It was great for me.
And the fact you introduced yourself to so many people at the National, everyone's like, that dude is a huge Expos fan.
I'm the Expos guy. Everybody. Yep, I love the Expos. How many times I get asked if I was from Montreal?
I mean, like 8 times when I was with you. So I can't imagine how many.
I sound like I'm from
weekend.
Montreal, South Montreal. So it was, yeah, that was great. Holding that mantle, that was amazing. I still get
Oh,
shivers.
that was crazy. I remember that.
Yeah.
it's not every day when some guy you never met before goes, here's my Mickey Mantle 52. Let's
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we were all there. We were all there in the lot. That was the most random
that
thing
was
ever.
That was right when we were getting ready to bust our boxes of junk.
No, that was before we went to get pizza and got.
Yeah, no, that was
okay.
before we went to.
I was wearing the
Giordano's.
Yankee hat. He stopped
Yeah.
because I was wearing the Yankee hat. He's
Oh,
like,
you
"I got
guys
something
like the
for you."
Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, I got something for you.
I think I remember. I was like, does it matter if you like the Yankees or not? Like, look at the card.
Yeah, he pulled out the card. I don't care about the Yankees. This is an iconic card. He didn't.
He's like,
He had it in a brown box.
he paid 38 grand. He said.
Yeah, and
He's
pulled
like,
it
I
out
paid
of a
38 grand for
PSA mailing box. And like, what else do you got in there? Like,
Well, I
My
still
God.
remember going to get pizza, and then the guy was trying to see if we're buying or selling at the pizza place.
yeah, that was
That
awesome.
was the Otani.
Yeah.
They were going to buy the Otani, the one I just got back from SGC that came in 9.5. And he looked at it. He's like, they talked about the condition. They were like, this is not, they were like, how much you want? I said, $75. And they were like, no, the condition's too bad. Because it just did have the white on the corners. So, but it came back at 9.5, and 9.5 sell for around a little over 200. So those guys could have made a little moolah.
Yeah, they said he ran a card shop. I guess it was out of the pizza place. But yeah, that was a great time. And man, I go in and thinking we're going to have the same outcome this year. I don't know. I'm going to go with the first timer, so that's always fun. So we'll see how it goes.
It'll be its own experience next year. It's going to be a little bit different. It's always different every year.
Right.
Because this time it's not going to be in Chicago either. So it's
Right.
going to be a little different, but it's still going to be the same. It's just it's going to be fun in its own certain way.
Yeah. And y'all taking me and getting to meet and hear the stories from the guys y'all called the OGs of this YouTube thing. That was I'm a history buff, and that's a form of history to me. Listening to those guys, y'all telling stories about the Wild West of the early YouTube days was. I just shut up and was quiet. If y'all noticed, and just listened because it was great. And I don't shut up very often. So
that was funny too, because Manny, that one guy came up to him, that drunk.
yes,
What was it, the valet or I don't know? He was a dealer. The guy was a dealer because someone found him the following day. He comes up and he was just bombed out of his mind, spewing nonsense to Manny from Card Cave.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah. And then that the soccer guy came out of the steak shack that we were like, who? It was some soccer guy that's real big.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's right.
Yeah. It was what the
I
hell
still
going-
think the red Corvette guy though was the craziest thing. Looking for the
and the hobby's dead.
what the hell was Messi? Looking for Messi cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pulled up in a red Corvette. That's where we're at in the hobby now.
Ed
Guys
suited
pull
up.
in Red Corvette.
Ed, you got to wear the suit next year too.
Yeah. We're in
That's
AC.
overdressing for Atlantic City, man.
If you do that, it's got to be.
You got to
crushed
go there with
outfit
like
or
a cut-off shirt and mesh shorts.
Everyone will be wearing a white beater and gold white beaters and shorts.
So I guess I want to move on here, and we're going to go does anybody have like any great story or pickups or a card that you really holy grail or a casket card or anything like that you want to talk about for picking up in 2021?
So I picked up 2 cards that were on my list of guys to get pretty quick early last year. I thought I got pretty good deals. Was the DiMaggio Pinnacle Auto from '93.
Nice.
But the big one I think is the Jeter Transcendent Auto I got because I got it in. I can't when did I get that? I got it in. It probably was when I might have got it on the day of the Super Bowl or maybe the AFC Championship when I got the Jeter. And since it was the middle of the game, I guess I got it at a really good price. They only got paid like $250 for it.
Nice.
So those are like my 2 big things from last year, and the Hank Aaron I got as well. So knocked off 3 huge cards in my opinion for my personal money. So
Nice.
I don't usually spend over $100 on a card. Usually it's a $10 to $15, $20 cards.
I hear you.
Randomly when I go over 100, but to go like 3 cards, roughly 250 to 300 non-national is kind of big for me. So I picked up 3 huge cards last year. So
Nice. Anyone else?
I think I picked up a lot of awesome stuff on eBay and all of that, and that's great. I love picking those cards up. Some of them raw, and you get them graded. Some you buy graded. But to me, what stands out is the stuff you get at the National because you remember the history of the cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I finally got in 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson, a card I've wanted for years. I kind of kept putting off. Price kept rising, and I still remember like looking at 3, 4, 5 of them, and then kind of eventually just going with the one that I really thought looked best. And, there with Scotty Tradition, hanging out with him. Like, I remember that. And, of course, the Clemente rookie. I'll never forget getting that and trading Ohtani's and getting cash and that card and hanging out with you, Scott. Like, those are awesome memories. And that's how I kind of associate other people getting cards, too. I was actually listening to a podcast earlier today when I was driving. JT's new podcast, Triple Crown 24, and they're talking about FOMO, and him and those back pages were discussing the trout. And I was thinking back on like when I got a trout 10 years ago, and then I found a raw one at a flea market, got a grade, it got a 6, but like the grade was irrelevant. And then I was like thinking to myself, like how Ed didn't have a trout, and I was like, oh, Ed got a trout, like able to make up trades and stuff. So like I think that's the best part about some of your pickups is like what you remember about them, and even other people's pickups.
Yep. You got a story, Ed?
Yeah, I would definitely say the US 175, getting the trout back in the collection. I think it's that card. A lot of demons were put to rest getting that card back in the collection.
You were very excited.
But also, like what Mike was saying, how it comes together and how you get the card back and at the National with Mark, Stove's family, Stove Sports, almost getting the Juan Soto hands on hips instead. Almost got the PSA 10 hands on hip Soto, but the dealer didn't want the dealer at the last moment was like, I can't do it. So I was like, you know what? It's a sign. Get the trout. Find the US 175. Found a really, really cool dealer on the red carpet area section of the National, and no cash exchanged hands. Just traded the Ohtani refractor from Chrome Update straight up for a PSA 9 US 175 Mike Trout. And I'm just real thrilled about how I acquired it because I got it through the trade. And the only money that was in that card was the Ohtani came out of a value box. So I got it for like $5, $6 at
Nice.
at a local card show. and then I got the card graded, so $12. So essentially, I got the PSA 9 US 175 for around $20.
I think you did pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
You
like,
went back in time a few years to get
Yeah, I
that.
think I did pretty good.
yeah, geez, that's a nice pickup. Well, for me, of course, national pickups. I got the, uh, especially my Roberto Clemente rookie. That player. Every time I talk baseball with my dad at his time before mine, that's the first player he talks about. That's why collecting. Um, just amazing story. And I got the Satchel Paige, and I got the Gretzky rookie. So those were big. And I also want to talk. I got a couple of cards graded that were non-sport. I was going to ask you, Ed, if you had anything that non-sport that were actually out of my own collection as a kid. Empire Strikes Back that I collected. Got back, and they were terrible grades, like Mike was saying, but it was out of my own collection as a kid, and I just it was exciting to see those slabbed up, tuxed up, because it was a Darth Vader and Stormtroopers. So um, that to me held a lot of memories because
Getting cards graded that you just want slabbed is sometimes the most satisfying thing
Yeah.
because like you just don't care. Like I've done
Right.
that with a lot of like oddball Phillies stuff or whatever. I'm
Mhm.
just like I don't care what the grade is, so it's just like
well,
it's kind of nice to send something like that and not worry about, oh, if I don't get a 10 or if I don't get a 9, then am I wasting money or whatever. Like you're just doing it to kind of dress that card up and kind of
that
preserve
card,
it and such.
that card you got from what 1898 or whatever it was at the National, that was exciting for me because I've never seen anything like that before. To hold that, just to know it was here longer than anybody I've ever known, was amazing. That was just things like that, and that's what this to me. That's what the hobby's about. And the people that do the just for sales, I feel like they miss out on this part of the hobby. I know you can make some murmurings on big sales, putting money in the pocket, but I just feel like this is what the hobby is about. I guess now move anything else for highlights or anything in 2021.
I
Touch
was
on.
going to say I strongly agree with what Mike just said there about getting cards slabbed.
Mhm.
That mean a lot to you. Like for instance, I sent off a bunch of shadowless original Pokemon cards that I grew up with that I used to play with in school and grade school and
Right.
in the recess yard, and these cards are absolutely mangled, like beat to hell. And I'm expecting like PSA 1 and 2s, but I just wanted to get them slabbed just to, because I want to take them out of the binder. I don't want them sitting in the binder anymore. Like I want to be able to display them and be like, hey, these are the cards that I used to play with as a kid. And the current structure now for third party grading, if you want PSA, you kind of can't do that. So, like we said earlier, I hope eventually it does get back to where you can get cards like that graded, because I know for sure I wouldn't be those cards I sent off that are absolutely mangled and beat to hell. I won't be sending them off for $100 now. No way. I would have to have a little money tree in the backyard to do that.
Right. Probably a big money tree for that one. So we pretty much, hit on everything for last year. This year coming up, we're all baseball fans here. I don't. Ed, is that your number one sport? Or
Oh yeah,
okay,
by a country mile.
yeah, I kind of thought so. The lockout. I've talked to Mike with last time we were on together on my Let's Talk. We know if it goes into the season, it's going to affect the everything that's going on. But do you think it's going to cripple it, or just maybe get some of the people that are just kind of in it to be in it type of deal, see what's going on? How do y'all think it's going to affect it? Anybody?
Let me start. It's never
Sure.
good when millionaires are arguing with billionaires.
It's not a good look.
Never good. And especially on the modern and ultra modern side of things, if you're really into that, like I am, it's really not good. Baseball does not need a labor dispute or a strike. They really can't afford that type of calamity in the news. It's not good. We saw what happened in '94. It like really, really, really messed up the sport. And baseball's. I love baseball. I'm a diehard baseball fan. Dave and Mike, Scott, I know you guys are really passionate baseball fans as well, but not everyone is a passionate baseball fan. So baseball's kind of struggling with the ratings and connecting to younger people. And there's no way a lockout is going to help that. So baseball needs to do better with marketing their star players and reach into a younger generation, give people the chance to actually watch the damn games, do more for streaming, try to get that more involved, make it more affordable. But this whole lockout business is just really, really bad. They really, really need to get it. So they need to come to some type of agreement. So it needs to get fixed because spring training. I mean, we're 3 weeks out from February, and they normally report pitchers and catchers. Second week of February, right? So
yeah, and you get usually the injured guys and people that need a little bit more are there before that. So and they're locked out too. So
it's not good.
Yeah, at least they're talking a little bit now. At least about an hour today. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I think they're going to get it done, and I think it's going to get done sooner than later. I mean, if there's a delay in the season, I bet you there's not very much. There's too much money involved, and they'll make something happen.
Right.
Worst case scenario, they do a 1-year deal and go. But some will get done.
It's pretty imperative they get something done. I think right now it's had zero effect on the hobby because people just aren't paying attention anyway. Like right now, the focus is on basketball and primarily football. People are watching the NFL playoffs. But typically, literally days after the Super Bowl concludes, you start to see baseball prices start to elevate. It becomes a focus for a lot of people, hobby-wise. And obviously, just in general, people are baseball fans. Like, pitchers and catchers a week. And it's like, oh, cool, pitchers and catchers. You see some highlights in your local news. And then you get excited for the playoff games. And that all builds momentum in the hobby. So I do believe they'll get something done. And I sincerely hope they do because, of course, the millionaires, billionaires, no one wants to listen to these guys. Like, the bottom line is the owners are screwing the players for decades upon decades. And, the players legitimately were underpaid for a long, long time. But none of these modern players are. And it's kind of like a fine line because the players are the ones. Like, I know that's why all the arguing comes because the players usually look worse from the public because people are like, oh, these players, they're so overpaid. And it's like, well, the owners all literally are super billionaires and, rip us off our tax money to build their stadiums and stuff like that. So it's like if you start looking at that, you can get negative about it. So that's why you can't have that happen. Baseball needs to figure something out. They need to get an agreement in place and play the games they can't miss any games and they need to avoid much of a delay. And you need like the hype of the remainder of the off season. You need the hype of spring training to get people excited. And baseball has a lot of things they need to fix. Obviously, it's no secret that, football and basketball have eclipsed baseball specifically for the younger crowd. And baseball needs to do better marketing. For one, they just need to figure it out. Like, they need to end the excuses. They need to make it more accessible. I don't know. The Phillies used to be on public television, 80 games a year. Then it was 40 games a year. Then it was at least Sundays. Now it's like literally 3 games a year. I mean, that's asinine. That makes no sense. The blackout rules are idiotic, especially if you live in a weird area, not a weird area, but like Iowa that has all those teams that none of them are close to you.
It's weird.
But they're all within it. So they Like, you're blacking out 5 games, 5 teams. That's stupid. 0 of them should be blacked out. Like, that doesn't make sense. Because literally where I am, if I did the mileage, I guarantee from where I physically am, I guarantee the Yankees, Mets, Orioles, Nationals are all closer to me than any of the teams are to you, but none of them get blacked out for me. Like, that's just doesn't make sense. They'll black out the Phillies and that would be it. That's silly.
They tell me I can watch it on whatever the local cable channel is, but that's not true either. And it doesn't matter because those games are shown on their cable network, on the MLB network, you know.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
They need to do a better job of making video clips accessible. Like, okay, the young generation and people in general have gotten lazy, have had less of an attention span, but like they have to make it so that you can watch condensed games in 3 minutes, like for kids, or even have stuff where you can, like with younger people now with apps, like they should have something in the app where you can remix your own highlights or something. Make that stuff accessible. Enough with this, like protecting our copyright bullshit. Like, I'm not saying you want to allow Ed to go down his basement and start printing Phillies t-shirts and selling them on the corner like some of the other yahoos down there. But like, you got to use, like, people see your logo, they're going to be more likely to watch your product, to attend your product.
Right.
And like, just speaking, when I was a kid, shout out to, the Ghostbusters, Ed knows, real Ghostbusters cartoon, and even G.I. Joe, any of that stuff you'd watch growing up.
G.I. Joe.
You know what I'd see during the commercials? I would see commercials with Ozzie Smith and Tony Gwynn either advertising some candy bar or gum or Topps cards or Kenner starting lineups. And like, they'd be on commercials. And now it's like, okay, on occasion during the World Series, you see like Ozzie Albies driving a car in a commercial that's not helping any kid or even any adult because they don't even know who he is. They got to do a better job marketing. So those are some of my quick thoughts.
I don't know. I used to watch the Baseball Bunch as a kid. I don't know if any of y'all seen it or old enough to see it. It was Johnny Bench, Ozzie Smith. It was right after Johnny Bench retired. Had Tommy Lasorda as the Wizard, which was weird because Ozzie was on the show, but the Wizard was Tommy Lasorda. Don't ask me. But anyway, but it was a half hour, and that's how I fell in love with Gary Carter, because Gary Carter was on there, and they did drills, and me and my friends go out and do drills. And then after that was This Week in Baseball. Well, now they still have This Week in Baseball, but it's on the MLB network. What good is that doing for when I used to watch it on ABC? I understand 100% what you're saying, but there's a lot of kids at ball games. You watch the stands, and I think there's more kids at a baseball game than a football game. So,
for sure, but I don't know. They definitely have to improve things.
They're not getting a casual fan. That is just but we can't fix it. They have to fix it. So
Tony Clark, Rob Manford, we know you're subscribed to Big Scott 35.
There you go.
Even if you're using a burner, we know you're watching. Just get this shit together. Like, come on. Like, what are you doing? Just figure it the hell out.
Get in a room. Okay, you're screwing the rookie guy that's coming up after April 1st. Just change the rule. That's the big rule they want changed. And, and change arbitration, which that's what they're kind of doing right now. So, and get the DH in there.
I can't live in this world anymore where the Phillies don't have a center fielder or a left fielder. We need this offseason to continue. Get someone.
That's another thing. No,
right? As of now, if the season started today, Ed's playing center field, I'm playing left field for the Phillies. So we're in trouble.
I can tell you this. I feel like they're hurting the free agents because if they wait any longer, it's going to be a mad dash who signs where. And they might not get the same money because they're not going to have the time to negotiate. Or the owners do the other way and just throw it.
My favorite is, though, I get emails from like 20 different baseball teams, like anyone I ever bought a ticket from, and I'll get something like Arizona Diamondbacks tickets. I'm like, why would I pre-order tickets right now when I don't know if your season's starting? Like, I know you got like an intern you're not even paying doing this, but like, just let them take an extra break because you're not selling any tickets right now. Like, who would buy tickets right now?
Somebody's really excited to watch Madison Bumgarner pitch.
In Arizona. Woo. Well, that's last thing. Let's see. That's the now. So coming up, goals. Anybody have any hobby goals or anything, that they're looking for? Or
Yeah, so I got I got one goal for this year, and it's going to be a Mickey Mantle Perez Steel auto.
Well, you picked up the Ted Williams last year?
Yeah, I got the Ted Williams of the National.
That was nice. I remember that was a very nice.
That Mickey Mantle just seems affordable for me to get a Mantle,
especially compared to his 50, 2 tops or 51 Bowman or most of his regular issue tops cards.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Perez Steel is kind of what I'll be looking for because I think I'm capable of getting it.
They're fairly affordable unless they're like a player who didn't live very long after when it was signed.
It'll be like
ability to be signed,
$500 to $600.
But that's really not terrible. I mean, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but that's you're never going to lose out on that piece. You get that. I mean, if you ever change your mind, you can exchange it immediately. And those Perez Steels are so nice looking. They look better than most They look better than that Griffey Mantle scorecard. I don't think that's a great looking card. I know people like it. One of the first autographed pack inserted cards, but the Perez Steels are amazing looking.
Yeah. Well, even Mickey Mantle has those I think it's 1993 score Mantle autographs, and the cards they look like 1993 score. They don't look good. But yeah, the Perez Steels they just look better, and usually the autographs are pretty nice and bold and perfect spots on those things. So I think that's just the way to go with it, and that'd be the plan.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of go with what I'm doing, trying to stay Mets and working on my Pete Alonso 2019 stuff, and got a couple other things going, but not really big. Ed said you don't have anything going, do you?
Nah, not really.
I thought you were going to try and conquer the world with every Juan Soto card ever produced.
That's impossible.
I think you got Juan Soto's head on the Brady Anderson poster from the 80s or 90s with him sitting on the butt naked. I just envision that in your room for some reason. I don't know.
He's got the fathead on the wall.
I got to show you the door because my Juan Soto collection looks like I'm a mass murderer back here.
Juan Soto needs to take Tony Clark's spot so he can save the game again.
There you go. Like Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa did before. So anything that what is anybody expecting from this year from the hobby? More the same? Anything different? Are we going to get 2022, Project 22? I mean, what do y'all think?
Project 87? Who knows? I don't know what to expect. I mean, it's been a whirlwind already, right? We're only, not even 20 days, not even 3 weeks into January, and you've got the whole controversy with the Bowman's Best, whether these cards are rookie cards or not rookie cards. And, you have the dope, buying the fake Pokemon case for $3.5 million. You got all this stuff going on. It's been kind of crazy, but I do think the hobby's in a pretty good place. I think it's good that prices have at least come down a little bit. Obviously, there's some stuff that's still crazy expensive.
Right.
Retail's more accessible now. It's not the way it used to be, but it's better than it was recently. You can actually open some things if you really want now. So I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. Hopefully, we were talking about, hopefully baseball gets going for sure. But
right.
I'm just looking forward to seeing what things have to offer. Now, that being said, we're still waiting on some 2021 products that haven't been released yet because of continuous delays 2021 Topps Big League Baseball expected to show up in February, probably after Topps Series 1 is released for 2022. So that's odd. Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary, same thing. So I think we will continue to see delays with stuff like that because that's just the way things are. Like,
Right.
everything is delayed. You go to your local supermarket or Walmarts and Targets, a lot of the shelves are empty because either they don't have the workforce to get the stuff out or the items just aren't coming out.
Right.
So who knows? But
Yeah.
it should be fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Looking forward to continuing to expand the collection, pick things up, see where the seasons and who's hot, who's not, how things develop, evolve, and hopefully there's no delays, everything goes smoothly, and we can all hang out in person in Atlantic City in 2022.
That's right. Anybody else with anything thinking's coming down the pike? Might kind of ruin my ending, but that's okay. I'll start
Sorry.
with it.
No, I think this year's going to be good for the hobby. I think it's getting back to normal. Like Mike said, more retail is going to be on the shelves. I think that some of the newer collectors that jumped in way too heavy or that they've got smarter. So I think the price is going to be kind of back to normal where I can afford stuff. And then people are going to understand that ripping retail and other hobby boxes is not as profitable as they thought it should be. So it's just going to be, I think things are going to go back to where they were. Maybe not to the were 2 years ago, but I think we can get kind of there, and I think it'll be better off for the whole hobby. So.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a new floor now. I think the floor has risen a little bit, which is good, but
That's fine.
it's not as nutty as it was. And, it's a good thing. You want to be able to open things and enjoy it. And, that's one of the things people tend to forget. When you talk to people, you try and encourage them. Like, hey, you got to collect what you like. You got to collect what you love. That's imperative and important. Like, don't buy stuff just because other people are. It doesn't mean it's not fun to – like, there's an aspect of collecting and being correct and being right on a player, like how, Ed was first one in on Juan Soto. Well, maybe not first, but, early on. And, like, Juan Soto is really good, so that's why Ed has fallen deeply in love with Juan Soto because –
Save the game.
he's a winner. He's saving the game, as Ed puts it. Like, there's an aspect because it's cool to see your collection grow in value. Like, you don't really want it to be worth nothing, but that can't be the only thing. And it's an expensive hobby, so like cards need to have some value. You don't want to spend $100 on a box of paper clips. That makes no sense. It's dumb. So I don't know. It's just gonna be fun to follow. And some of the people that came in, tried to get rich, spent $300 on cards that should have been $15, and then they lost all their money and they go bye-bye. Like, it is what it is. Right. Ultimately, with the spike, I think we gained more new collectors than we really lost overall. But a lot of the people who are in purely for the money suddenly disappear.
Right.
Chrome Update, you can still buy on Target's site. Price is a little higher than it used to be. You do get more cards, but people aren't going to use their bots to buy a box they can only make $5 on.
Right.
They're going to leave some for people who can collect it or people who can open it and such.
Yep. Thanks, Mike, for letting me know about those two, by the way. And anything, Ed? Non-sport? Sport?
No.
You're my fellow non-sport guy, so I got to ask.
I think Mike touched on it pretty well.
Okay.
I think he nailed it.
Wait, so I ruined your ending and Scott's ending?
Probably. You didn't ruin it. Well, thank you guys. Catching up for last year. Can't wait to see everybody at the National again, and we'll keep on talking groups. And I really have enjoyed this last year in the hobby and YouTube. I feel like I've broken out just a little bit, and it's been fun. Been a fun year. And before we leave, Mike touched on it. Is it a rookie or is it not a rookie? Dave?
It's not a rookie.
Ed?
Why can't they be both?
Mike?
Wait, so you're going to have a rookie in 2021 and 2022?
I was going to come back to that one.
like I get it to a degree, but like I don't know what. So the rookie card thing's kind of funny. Like Victor's amazing, the rookie card specialist.
He
Oh,
nailed
boy.
it.
But like
Yeah.
I just can't get that into it. Like I just can't care enough. I'm too damn
But
busy with other
he
stuff.
pointed out on the back it wasn't from the Players Association. So right
But
there.
no, I agree. I looked at it and then I looked even a little closer in the prospect cards. Not only do they not have the Players Association logo there, like they literally have a different design on the back.
Right.
So I think Topps was kind of silly to
Lazy.
mix them into the set numbering, but like I don't know, card 100 or card TP like 25, like it was obviously produced to be a prospect card, and I'm sure it'll be debated, and it'll be, you know, some people will be on one hill and other people are going to be another hill, but honestly, most people aren't going to care that much.
Yeah.
And the majority of the hobby is going to gravitate towards the 2022 products with the rookie card logo. You know, I'm sure there'll always be a premium for that card, and there will be people who collect that as the true rookie. I just personally can't get that worked up over it. So I see it more of as a prospect card because it's his third Bowman's best card, but I understand those who see it as, you know, his rookie card as well. It's just, it's hard. You can't compare it to some of the old Jeter cards or the old Bowman. Like, it's just a different time. Because honestly, if you want to get that stingent about it, then his first Bowman card would be his rookie card because that's his first card. Like, it's no longer the rookie card is the first card. In today's world, the first Bowman for the majority of players, unless you come out of nowhere, the first Bowman is going to be the first card. And then the rookie will be your first major league card, you know, whatever year they decide to mass release them.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
So what were you saying, Ed, before?
I will say I said both.
Yeah.
But like, if you think it's a rookie card, you think it's a rookie card. Like, I'm not here to be, I guess, a gatekeeper on what is and what isn't a rookie card.
Right.
I will say the one thing that I've noticed is that Bowman's Best Franco card in particular, there's like a hive mind of pumping blitz that is going on with that card. Like,
Right.
I understand why, like, people are like, I see it on Facebook, I see it on Instagram. Like, that card is being pumped up a lot because it does have manufactured scarcity compared to the 2022 flagship. I mean, because let's be real, the flagship card, there's going to be pallets of them. And this card has a built-in scarcity. The pumpers know that. So it's going to be an even more highly desired card. And it's going to be a more expensive card, honestly. So it's simple supply and demand. So it's like every social media site, every money person is like festering over that card, and it's just they're annihilated. And you notice this on eBay because you check on eBay when the card first got listed, like they just put Wander Franco Bowman's Best, and it was selling for like $5 to $10. And then like a couple of days later, you have True Rookie, $100, buy it now. $150, buy it now. $200, buy it now. Like, so it's just like it feels like it's a big pump going on. With that said, I would like to own one. I would like to have both cards. I want to get the 2021's Bowman's Best because obviously that card is going to be a polarizing card, and people are going to continue talking about it, and people are going to continue to pump it to a crazy level. And then I do want the flagship card too, so I want both. But it's just annoying. It's just really annoying. Like this whole saga, you know, Top screwed up. Obviously, they really just got lazy. I don't even think they were aware of it. They just got lazy and dumb. And this whole thing is just an opportunity for people to just make a shit ton of money on a card that's going to be printed way less than the other card. And if you have it, it's just going to be a desired gem to make tons of money off of. So maybe that's a cynical view. Maybe somebody listening might be like, wow, that's a real like jaded take, but that's just kind of the way I look at it.
Well, so I'm a rookie card collector, right? So my feelings are going to be on.
Dave is a true rookie collector because he doesn't just collect the Hall of Famers. He collects like anyone who was remotely relevant in the 80s, 90s, 2000s.
That's right.
When I saw Dave giving some love to Pat Burrell, I was like, all right, this guy's all right.
I do want them all. So for me, it's just let's just wait to see what it gets marked down as. I mean, Beckett's going to put it as either rookie or not a rookie, or
Beck has already put it as a
base, or
Yeah,
whatever
Beckett
they
put
make
it,
the decision. Is this a rookie or not? That's what I'm going to go with.
Right.
Now, like I always like to collect like the first Bowman and then the rookie. I don't really, but let's play this. If someone's like Pete Alonso, for example, all his 2019, some are prospects, some are rookies.
Mm-hmm.
In my personal collection, I count them all as rookies. If they're from that, if his rookie cards in the rookie year, they're all rookies to me. In at least my personal PC.
As long as you are, it's your PC.
Yeah. But I don't even like, so someone like Aaron Judge, right, who had a 2013 first Bowman, a billion prospect cards in his rookies 2017. I really don't even want any of his stuff between.
Right.
So for the Franco, I just got to wait. If it turns out to be that's his rookie, then I'm going to collect everything from that year as his rookie card in my personal PC.
Yeah, and like the hobby kind of decides too in terms of that. Like Justin Verlander stands out because that's back when they changed over, and you have the draft pick card, which is clearly the more desirable, the higher dollar card, and then he has an RC logo card like the next year, and I mean that one says rookie, but I'm pretty sure it goes for a fraction of the price. So I mean,
Prince Fielder has the same thing too. I go through all when I'm doing that spreadsheet, putting all the rookie cards in or rookie year stuff together. I think Topps didn't have a Prince Fielder rookie, so his 2000 whatever year it was, his next year, the Topps card said rookie card, but all his real rookies are in the year before from all the other brands. So, and I think that's the year when they switched over to they have to have the rookie logo. Was that 2006 with the Verlander?
I think so. Yeah.
But the year 2005 is what is actually the rookie card. Yeah, where it would have been normally a draft pick card now, or a prospect if it was that time.
One last question on this same subject, because me personally, I collect the flagship rookie card. That's kind of where I am. That's because of Topps, the Topps brand. I want that rookie card. But the Juan Soto rookie card, wasn't the Heritage high number out before the update, right?
I think the first pack pulled Soto was actually Topps Archives. I think that's the first pack pulled Soto card you could get.
I think you're right.
Because I knew it was not the Topps flagship, but everybody says the Topps. Everybody looks for the flagship or the Chrome, for that matter. Nobody looks for the Topps Archives. So
I do. I want them all.
Dave does. I should say nobody.
I think you're right. I think it is the Archives.
Yeah, people don't really. I mean, Dave does. But if you're a Juan Soto collector like Ed down here, he's going to get them all. So.
Ed, is there any truth to the rumor that you're planning on giving up the handle of Weskergriff? You're going to retire that name and change to Soto Investor?
No. I will say, though...
More fake news coming out, probably from North Jersey.
I will say, you can bet with absolute certainty this time next year, 2023, that Bowman's Best Franco will be way more than the flagship 2022 Franco. That card,
I would hope so, because the 2022, the production will probably be up a little bit. Plus, it'll be available in factory sets.
That Bowman's Best, I imagine the cheapest it'll probably realistically go to is maybe 40. So it's going to be an expensive card because the people who own that card or the people who want to sell that card are never going to cease. They're just going to continue pumping that card. And I said this in the chat that I sent this in the chat that me and Mike are in. But wouldn't it be hilarious if this becomes all a null and void issue with Franco. He's just not that good.
What if he
What happens
turns
if
into
he has a
Mikel
dud
Franco?
season? What happens if he just has a dud season? Like, he's just not that good. Because remember, Franco's a hobby darling. And a lot of times when hobby darlings come onto the scene, they really don't. A lot of them don't really do too great.
I don't know if Tampa paid him because he's a hobby darling, though. So
That's rare. Yeah. Tampa doesn't normally hand out the money. But,
right,
when you break down Franco's season last year, and again, it's a short sample size, it was good, but it wasn't anything spectacular or great.
right.
So we'll see. I just think it would be funny if that wind up happening because you have all these people like just bickering and moaning and about this rookie card. Can you imagine if like it just becomes irrelevant at the end of the day if like he has like an Alec Boehm level season or something like that?
Turns into Kevin Moss or
Everybody's talking about him,
and you got to have a
more-
really good year. You got to be really special because I mean, look at Greg Jeffries. Everyone's like, "Oh, Greg Jeffries." And it's like Greg Jeffries had a pretty good career. He
Yeah, I'm
reached
pretty
a
sure
few
he hit,
All-Star
30
games,
homers
hit
in one
300 a
season.
few times. It's not like people act like Greg Jeffries was like a 175 hitter. They act like he's Jerome Walton. Like Jerome Walton sucked at baseball. Greg Jeffries was okay. Certainly wasn't as good as people had hoped or expected or pumped him up to be, but like he was like a 10-year vet who made a couple All-Star games. And that's just not good enough in the hobby.
right. The other player in that set that I'm also it does to get mentioned is the Bobby Witt. He's going to be out this year. You think he's going to be a rookie probably in Series 2?
No, he's in that set. He's in that Bowman's best set.
Yeah, that's what I know. That's what I was saying.
But like, how can that be a rookie if he hasn't even made his major league debut? That's why it's like the fine line. That's what's weird.
But that's what they're saying. It's like there's all 30. There's some guy that just got drafted by the Nationals that it's in that set. That's probably won't even play in the next 3 years. So,
but you see that elevates the value of the products.
I think Ed might be sitting on a couple cases of Bowman's best.
I guarantee there are people that bought pallets of that stuff that are just sitting on it, and their one goal is to just constantly talk about how great that product is. Again, cynical take. I'm sure.
I will say, I think Bowman's best is a really nice product, and I think it's typically overlooked. So it's kind of fascinating to hear it become such a big subject because year after year, like Bowman's best, it typically comes out in mid-December, and it's like it's out of sight, out of mind for most people. It's the last product of the year, and people just don't pay attention to it. And if you actually look back a few of the recent years, the Tatis year and stuff, like those boxes have multiplied in price by like 5-6 times, well before this ever happened. But people just don't pay attention until it's too late. And really, it's not a product that's got a big run. It is printed in more limited supplies. So, I mean, not a bad idea to sit on a little bit of it.
How many cases you allocate?
I might have a single case.
I'm pretty sure Filmington has a small warehouse filled with them.
He may not.
RC Explosion box coming next month with that in there. It'll be $400 for that.
He probably has like 10, 20, 30 cases of that stuff in a warehouse in Wilmington. It's not home me.
All right, guys. So we've been doing this. We're going to come up on the 90-minute mark here. I know it's we're filming this on a Monday night, so I really appreciate you guys doing this again. Y'all have been really kind to do this and really kind to me over the last few years, and great group of guys. So until next time, see ya.